This is also what happened with Shakespeare, a group of writers, intellectuals, together with an aim, with a scope. Hi everyone, welcome back to John Florio channel. I am Mary and I'm here to talk about the great John Florio. Guys, it's finally out. ResoluteJohnFlorio.com is finally out. I am so happy because I've worked so hard on this website in the last months. So there is everything about John Florio, everything from his life to his works, with a better layout. There are all the references, the notes, the documents. So if you want to dig deeper and maybe read other books, you have all the references there. There is the section about John Florio's life, the section about John Florio's works, and there is a new section about Shakespeare. First of all, this new section is not complete yet, but I will add many other important articles about Shakespeare and Florio in the future. And there is also the new section about my novel, Resolute John Florio at the French Embassy. If you go on the homepage of the website, you can already read a couple of lines about the plot of the novel. In the future, when the novel will be published, you'll find the links and everything concerning this incredible novel that I wrote about John Florio and Giordano Bruno. I also added some new plugins so that it's better to consult the website through your phone. And now let's go to another important news, the documentary Sogliardo. In the summer of 2023, I embarked on a beautiful voyage to Soglio, John Florio childhood place. It was an amazing trip, and I have created a documentary with 4 episodes that will come out every Wednesday at 2 p.m. GMT time zone. Each episode is about 5-10 minutes, so very short videos, but they are very important because they show John Florio's childhood, his father Michelangelo Florio, the beautiful village of Soglio that today is considered Switzerland's most beautiful place. Now, I hope that you liked the last video that I made in which I ended the analysis of Love's Labour's Law. I read all your comments and I also think that we found the title for the John Florio community. I think that all of you voted for John Florio Society as the best name for this community that I want to build, in which we can gather online, in person, and discuss about Florio. Also, let me know in the comments which is for you the priority about this community. What do you expect from this community? What do you want to do? What do you think is the most interesting thing that we could do together as a community? Let me know in the comments so that I can start building this community, this John Florio Society, and create something amazing for you. This is an interesting comment. Good show, Florio, Bruno, Sydney. Bruno's contribution need more light, and Florio's as well. Sydney died early on, so his true contribution may be more obscure. You are right, Mr. Abzu. Bruno's contribution need more light, and I will make many other videos in which I'll show you all the references of Giordano Bruno's in Shakespeare plays that we can trace back to John Florio. But today I want to talk about this authorship problem. Why? Because in the last video I told you that Love's Labour's Lost is certainly, I'm 100% sure that Love's Labour's Lost is a product of both John Florio and Giordano Bruno. So how can we explain this? Does this mean that John Florio is Shakespeare? No, I don't think so. I think that Shakespeare, this is why I call it the Shakespeare machine. Shakespeare was essentially a group of writers. This is something that John Florio writes in 1598 in A World of Words, in which he defends himself from the attacks that he received as a Johannes Factotum, and he replied by saying, I have a group of people, these people work for me and they support me. Even if today, from the 21st century lens, we see Shakespeare as the solo genius, we should go back to the Renaissance era and understand that theatre was done in group, with many writers collaborating with each other. Let's make an example that it's crucial to understand how Shakespeare was born in England. This example is with Italian academies. In Italy, theatre was primarily done all by Commedia dell'arte, so a group of actors who traveled around Italy and around Europe, or with the academies. How these academies worked? All these academies were essentially created by a group of intellectuals, a group of writers. They decided to create a community, an academy, together, to give to that academy a name. In this case, as an example, I give you the Academy degli Intronati, of the stone ones, and they had a scope. In this case, for the Academy of the Intronati, it was founded in 1525, and they took this name Intronati to signify the desire of the founders to withdraw from the noise of the world, from which they were as if stunned, so Intronati, in order to devote themselves to comedies and the study of language and literature. So they had a scope, a name, a group of writers, intellectuals, who want to create an academy. In this case, the scope was to write comedies. With Shakespeare, we have the same idea. A group of writers, of intellectuals, with a new name, in this case, Shakespeare, and with a precise scope. From the English point of view, from the Shakespeare point of view, the scope was much more political than literally. While in Italy they didn't have any political aim, because most of these intellectuals were Protestant, and in Italy with the Inquisition they had some problems. In England there was much more influence from the political point of view. So the plays, they were written also to promote the Queen, to promote the political view of Queen Elizabeth I. It was like watching television, it was like social network today. So this was the difference between Italy and England. With England, there was an influence of the government in shaping the plays and writing the plays. This didn't happen in Italy, but you can see that they had the same ideas. A group of people, of writers, intellectuals, that together create an academy. In this case, they give in the academy the name Intronati, the stone ones. This is also what happened with Shakespeare. A group of writers, intellectuals, together with a name, with a scope. Second, nicknames. Each of these writers in Italy, in these academies, had a nickname. Each writer had his own nickname. And it wasn't just an academy created by men, there were also many women. So this can also be attributed to Shakespeare, in which these intellectuals, writers, had nicknames. Just a couple of examples: Florio Resolute, Robert de Verrue. They had the pseudonym A.B. So each one of them had a precise nickname. Theatre. The academies in Italy had their own theatre, and they used their own theatre to perform the plays written by them. This also happened with Shakespeare. Finally, the plays. The plays were the product, the result of sometimes collaboration, Sometimes they were just written by a solo writer. They didn't distinguish them. They were always written by the Academy of the Intronati. So they never put their name on the play. Just one example of a play written by the Academy of the Stone Ones, the Intronati, the influenced Shakespeare, is Gli Inganni. Gli Inganni is a play that influenced Shakespeare's Twelfth Night and was written not in group. This time this play was written by Ludovico Castelvetro. This is something that I also show you in one episode of the Soiardo documentary. Why? Because Ludovico Castelvetro lived in Soio with John Florio and he was a friend of John Florio's father, Michelangelo. So as you can see, it's all connected. So I show you briefly this idea and the similarities that we have between the Italian academies, in which we have a group of writers. Each one of them had nicknames. They created these academies with a scope, with an aim. They managed a theatre and they wrote plays in collaboration with each other. This is also what happened with Shakespeare. A group of writers, intellectual, each one of them had nicknames. They managed their own theatre. They wrote plays together. The difference between Italy and England is that in Italy there was no political aim, a scope in the plays. This is something that we have in Shakespeare, Henry VI, Henry V, and all the historical plays. This is something that never happened in Italy. They just wrote comedies. And the second difference is money. In Italy, they didn't perform plays to make money. The great genius of England was to understand that they could make money with theatre. So that's the difference between Italy and England. With England, they understood that theatre could be a business, that they could make money. This is something that didn't happen in the rest of Europe. In Italy, they just perform plays because they like it, not because they made money with that. This is something very important because through the lens of the Italian theatre, you can better understand how theatre worked in England. So now that we have understood what this Shakespeare means, it means a group of people, writers, intellectuals, writing together, collaborating, with a scope, promoting, sometimes the government, sometimes not, sometimes the plays just have roots in the Italian literary tradition, in the Italian commedia dell'arte. Also, many of these writers and intellectuals, as John Florio, as Robert Devereux, they had their own nicknames. Now, I think that the priority is to first understand the role of these men from Stratford. Who really was William Shakespeare? Was just the businessman, the impresario, or did he really contribute to the plays? Do you think that he collaborated? Or do you think that he didn't have any role at all? To do this, I think that we have to look at the historical documents. Because if we look at the historical documents, we can find the truth. We don't have a time machine. If we had a time machine, we could go back in time and see what these guys were doing. But now we can just look at the historical documents and we can come up with the most concrete evidence about the man from Stratford. Did he really write the plays? Did he collaborate? Or he never wrote a single word that is today attributed to him? Let me know in the comments what do you think. I will leave you with this comparison between the Italian theatre world and England theatre world. And in the next video, I will show you all the pro and cons about the man from Stratford. And I will also pick your comments that you will leave under this video about the man from Stratford. Was he real or was he a fraud? Stay resolute. Bye.